today's tutorial, we'll look at how to create a really neat centre to our working in the round by using a magic circle. Tends to give a lovely little finish like this, rather than when we do the 4 chain ring and we can end up with something like a little bump like this. So let's begin. To make a magic circle, just hold the yarn however you normally do when you start your crochet projects. Then take the tail end of the yarn and just loop it over your finger like so and pinch. Next, insert your hook under the loop you've just made on your finger. Pass your hook over the working yarn. Grab that working yarn and pull it under the loop on your finger. And then just slide that loop up your hook like so. Then yarn over and pull through to close. And there's your magic circle. Next, we'll look at how to work single crochets into the magic circle. All you do is insert your hook into the center, work over both strands of yarn. It's really important you work over the tail end of the yarn. Just work your single crochets as normal. You may need to pinch the circle just to stabilize it as you get started, and then work about 8 single crochets into the circle, and then I'll show you how to close. As we're not working a pattern, it doesn't really matter if the stitch counts out for this, but I'll just do about 8, and then we can have a look. There we go. We have 2, 4, 6, 8. Next, we'll look at how to close the circle. All you do is take the tail end of the yarn, hold onto your stitches and pinch and pull, and that closes the circle beautifully. Drop the tail end of the yarn to the back, insert your hook under the top 2 stitches of your first stitch and slip stitch to close. And that completes your single crochets into the magic circle. If you'd like to tighten up the circle a little more, all you do is flip your work over, grab the tail end of the yarn. You can see it's coming out from here, so that's the direction that you need to pull it. Pinch the work and pull the tail end of the yarn. You might feel it give a little, especially when you're working the single crochets, and that has closed the single crochet circle, well, the magic circle, really nicely, giving a lovely appearance to your work. This is excellent for amigurumi projects in particular. Right, let's start now looking at how to work double crochets into the magic circle. Next, we'll look at how to work double crochets into the magic circle. We'll begin by chaining 2 to bring our work up to the right height. These will count as our first double crochet. Next, pinch the circle, yarn over, insert your hook into the circle, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over. You might need to just pinch the base of these loops, then yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through 2. Next, yarn over, insert your hook into the circle, working over the tail end of the yarn as well as the circle. Then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you continue this sequence all the way until you have a total of 12 double crochets, and that will include your starting chains. So go ahead and I'll meet you in a moment when you've completed all the double crochets into the circle. So here we've got our 12 double crochets, including our starting chains. Next, to close the circle, we just pull on the tail end of the yarn while we're holding on to the stitches and close. We don't have to close completely. Drop the tail end of the yarn to the back and then find the top of your building chains and just slip stitch in there for now. That just depends what the pattern calls for, but just for demonstration today, I'll just close like so. Now to close the circle properly, just flip your work over, take the tail end of the yarn, pinch your work. You can see the direction. This is the right direction to pull the yarn. Pinch and pull to close. You might need to give it a little tug. There we go, and it gave a little there. And there it is, closed beautifully. Next, you just weave in your ends as normal. And that has completely, or almost completely, closed the circle to give a really lovely finish to the double crochets into the circle. So that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. I'd just like to thank you all for watching and hope you enjoy working the magic circle. In the meantime, look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial. Take care.